In the late 1970s, a shadow fell over Rajasthan, a darkness so terrifying that it would change the way people lived their lives forever. This is the story of a monster who hid in plain sight, wrapped in nothing but a blanket, and the screams that became his addiction. It began in 1978 in the pink city of Jaipur, a body discovered on the roadside, just another corpse in a country where death was no stranger. But when the post-mortem report came in, police noticed something peculiar. The victim's neck bone was shattered, and beneath his ear, a deep wound that suggested something had struck him with tremendous force. Police dismissed it as a personal dispute. After all, Jaipur was a city of millions, and violence was not uncommon. They filed their report and moved on. But then it happened again. Another body, this time on the outskirts of the city. Same cause of death, broken neck bone, same mysterious wound behind the ear. And then another and another. As bodies continued to appear across Rajasthan, in Jaipur, in nearby villages, in distant towns, a chilling pattern emerged. Every victim had the same distinctive injuries: a shattered neck bone and a deep wound behind the ear. The body count climbed 10, then 12, then 15, then 20. But these murders occurred in different police jurisdictions, and in an era before sophisticated communication systems, no one connected the dots. Each police station treated these as isolated incidents. Meanwhile, a killer walked free, hunting his prey every few nights, while law enforcement remained oblivious to the scale of the terror unfolding across their state. It was a senior police officer in Jaipur who finally noticed what others had missed. A small newspaper article mentioned similar deaths across the region. Something clicked in his mind, a pattern too consistent to be coincidence. He assembled a team and began investigating in earnest. As journalists got wind of the story, headlines screamed about a psychopathic serial killer roaming Rajasthan, having already claimed 15 to 20 lives. The killer's method was now clear. He targeted solitary individuals on deserted roads, attacking them with what doctors believed to be a hammer-like weapon. He never entered homes or attacked groups, always lone travelers on isolated stretches. The media gave him a name that would haunt the nightmares of an entire region: the Kampatimar, the temple striker. But it was his appearance that truly terrified the public. Survivors began to come forward with chilling accounts. They spoke of seeing what appeared to be a bundle of blankets by the roadside. Harmless, unremarkable. But as they passed, the bundle would stir and a figure would emerge, hammer in hand, striking at their temples. These survivors had been lucky. They ducked at the crucial moment, escaping with their lives as the hammer whistled past their ears. As news spread, so did panic. Rajasthan's nights transformed. People who had traditionally worn blankets or shawls during winter evenings now avoided them entirely. The sight of anyone wrapped in a blanket after dark sent pedestrians fleeing in terror. Police warnings went out. Don't travel alone after dark. If you must, go in groups. But the body count continued to rise. 30, 40, 50. The terror had now spread beyond Rajasthan. Delhi's newspapers picked up the story, and soon the central government was aware that a single killer had claimed over 50 lives while evading capture. Rajasthan police formed a special task force dedicated solely to catching this phantom. But with little concrete evidence beyond eyewitness accounts, they struggled. The breakthrough came when police realized that while facial recognition in darkness was nearly impossible, they might identify the killer by his build and height. Survivors who had caught glimpses of their attacker provided descriptions that, while varying in details, had striking similarities. Police sketch artists created composite drawings based on these accounts. The consensus: the killer was a young man, likely between 25 to 30 years old, with remarkable speed and agility. In 1979, after weeks of stakeouts on Jaipur's darkest, most deserted roads, police spotted him, a shadow moving along a roadside, stopping to hide behind a tree. They watched as he removed something from his bag, then wrapped himself in a blanket. This was no ordinary pedestrian. This was their killer. As he prepared to move, police closed in. The struggle was brief. In custody, he identified himself as Shankariya, a 26-year-old resident of Jaipur. When questioned about the blanket killer terrorizing Rajasthan, Shankariya's response sent chills down the spines of even hardened police officers. "Not 60, he said calmly. "I've killed 70 people. I am the Kampatimar." What followed was one of the most disturbing confessions in criminal history. Shankariya, an unremarkable-looking young man from an ordinary family, detailed his murder spree with chilling precision. He led police to locations where he dumped bodies. He described his methods. He even retrieved the hammer he'd hidden near where he was caught. But it was his motive that truly horrified investigators. "I don't know any of my victims," he explained. "Every third or fourth night, I would leave home with my hammer and walk the roads. When I saw someone alone in the dark, I would strike them behind the ear with all my strength." His eyes lit up as he continued. "When they screamed, it gave me immense pleasure. The first time I killed someone, that scream, it was the most satisfying sound I had ever heard." Shankariya described how he became addicted to the sound of his victims' screams. "After my first kill, I tried to stop. I stayed home for 2 days, but I kept thinking about that scream. It was like a song I needed to hear again." His second murder was deliberate. He aimed specifically for the temple and neck area because he discovered these spots produced the most satisfying screams. Then it became a habit, he confessed. "I found a strange happiness in those screams. Nothing else pleased me, so I kept going out every few nights, looking for that sound again." Sometimes he returned empty-handed, not because he lacked victims, but because they weren't alone. He was careful, methodical, and terrified of being caught. The legal process moved with unprecedented speed. Within 101 days of his arrest, charges were filed. Shankariya never denied his crimes. In fact, he seemed proud of them. The courts sentenced him to death. His appeals to higher courts were rejected. His mercy petition to the president was denied. On May 16, 1979, just 4 months after his capture, Shankariya was hanged at Jaipur Central Jail. He was not yet 27 years old, making him one of India's youngest serial killers to be executed. His last words were a warning to future generations. "I killed so many people for nothing but pleasure. Never become like me." The Shankariya case changed criminal investigation in India forever. It highlighted the need for better interjurisdictional communication between police departments. It demonstrated how media coverage could both help and hinder investigations. But most importantly, it revealed that evil doesn't always have a monstrous face. Sometimes it wears the most ordinary of disguises, even something as simple as a blanket on a dark roadside. For years after his execution, parents in Rajasthan would warn their children, "Come home before dark or the blanket man will get you." And somewhere in the nightmares of those who survived his attacks, the sound of a hammer striking bone still echoes, a reminder that some monsters are all too real. The story of Shankariya remains one of India's most chilling criminal cases, a testament to how a seemingly ordinary person can become something truly terrifying, all for the pleasure of a scream.